Tell me what's going on. How are we getting to the Holocaust? Oh my God. Oh my God.
About as we become more technologically savvy. That, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We're still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said, go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I don't think Lex Friedman will allow this to happen. For the record, I think, like, no matter how much, like, look, he's a podcaster first. Okay. He's a podcaster first, human being second. But there are certain things that I assume he is not going to allow to happen. I think he's going to push back on this.
With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Parts of my...
I can't, oh God, just center-right people don't talk about the Holocaust without, without fucking tying it back to the Soviet Union and how bad, communism is. Challenge, impossible, difficulty. But let's continue.
Family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time.
Yeah, he's like, hold up. You're Jewish? No, I'm kidding.
On an entire people.
I was going to say the number. That's the difference.
It's not the number.
Because 6 million, well, also, African Americans are actually Jew also. The lost tribe of
I can
Israel.
push back on that too.
Okay, so... Well,
there you go. See, I fucking told you. There's no shot. He's too much of a fucking MIT guy to like literally. Okay. This is the difference between someone like him and someone like Candace Owens, who's like more invested in the right-wing ideological project. Maybe not personally, but at least like her entire money is tied to it, right? Candace Owens' money is tied to being a loyal soldier to the right-wing ideological project. I would even say that for Ben. But even Ben Shapiro would not let a lot of this get through, ultimately. Lex, on the other hand, is not as overtly or as far right as any of these other guys are. He is supposed to maintain this, center right, but definitely like his portrayal of himself is like, I'm a centrist type perspective. He's too MIT to just like let this shit slide.
Everyone came from Africa.
I am African. I'm basically African American. We're brothers.
And we're both Jew. And we're brothers. So
we're human.
6 million people died in the Holocaust, over 20 million.
Okay, so he's trying to push away by being like, we're both brothers. When he says we're both Jew, he's like, well, I'm going to push back on that, but we're both brothers.
Have died by the hands of abortion. And the media promotes the my body, my choice, which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not Black on Black violence and gang violence. It's not heart attacks. It's actually abortion. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
There's 900 to 1 million abortions in the United States a year. I hear you. But there's something about the rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
That's what we deal with on our TVs right now with Black people. Soros would use Black trauma economy to win an election. And what I love is having a healthy conversation. And as opposed to, there's certain things, boom, this drops, people are going to have pussy hats on. Boom, this drops, it's going to be, black people and white people with signs. Boom, this drops. So, hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're going to do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation. Can
I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds
you're saying it's redundant, right?
No.
No, man. He's not saying that. What the fuck did he think was going to happen? Oh, no. Dude, he's like, okay, what the fuck? What did Lex Friedman think was going to happen in this conversation? He said, you think it's a redundancy.
No, I'm not saying it's redundant. I'm saying
it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
It's a redundant
I'm saying
statement.
it's something I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany, said. I'm saying it's been said so many times in order to murder and torture.
I don't know. I think like Kanye was geared into thinking that like maybe by Elon or something that like this was going to be like a very positive interview or something. Okay. And I think that like he's just not aware. I think like he's still at this stage unaware that Lex Friedman is pushing back on what he is saying. This is the first time that I think Kanye West is having like a genuinely contentious conversation. Like this is like genuine pushback, more than even what Piers Morgan was doing.
Sure, Jewish people, that it just rings wrong.
And that's the
just
thing.
Like the N word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me. It reminds people of a very dark time.
I know. If Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people, you saying you're Jewish,
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from,
Christian.
Right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, Now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes, and then tell you what it is. What the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all human.
I said, and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what they do.
Oh, no. Remember when I spoiler alerted and said, oh, no, when he said history was written by the victors? And then there's an hour-long conversation about the Holocaust? Last week, when we watched one of the interviews, the first time we went into Drink Champs, I said, the one part that Kanye has not tied yet, the one note that he has not hit yet is Holocaust denial, which he's like teetered on by, making references to it and only like kind of hand waving away and be like, the real Holocaust is still happening and it's happening to like black babies inside of mothers' wombs or whatever. Which is like, pretty bad. Uh-oh.
What schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us Now we're the orphans of capitalism to make us be consumers, and we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point,
You
right?
had pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but
You
no
had
one.
pain in your heart.
But let's say this: undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another.
Okay, this part is actually not wrong, even though what he's about, like the point that I assume he's going to launch off of is going to be weird. Look, no. Chat is way too fucking Caucasian to understand the point that he's trying to make here as it pertains to like Black works of art. Like part of it is, and I myself am very Caucasian as well, obviously. But part of what he's trying to say here is that and I think it's pretty obvious. Like, there's a reason why Black Panther was seen as a massive success, and it had like a pretty solid cultural impact on people, even though it was a Marvel movie, right? There are rarely ever like Black stories that focus on Black success in general. Even if it focuses on Black success, it's not exclusive to Black success in a Black way. It's always Black people succeeding in a white world. So his take about Mansa Musa is not wrong. I think. I'm trying to be as charitable as possible to what he's trying to say, which, by the way, he will inevitably ruin, and also, somehow tie back to fucking Jewish people or something. But yeah,
Another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time, and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew. If we're Jew, and since we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed. Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music and hear Black people say, we kings, we blood of the.
Bro, what the fuck? Okay. Like he just shot across at like Black Israelites and Hoteps. He countered it, but then also, dude, his brain is so strange, dude. The things that he says, like as Felix Biederman also correctly pointed out last week, he was like, he is somehow arrived at an anti-Black form of like Black Israelite theory, a theory that revolves around Black supremacy. Okay? Which is odd because he's like, it just doesn't make any sense. What he's saying makes, I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit trying to comprehend what he's trying to say.
Pharaohs. And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed. And when we talk about, have you heard Black people talk about 400 years of slavery? Mm-hmm. All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it, and we need to move forward.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history, even the 20th century. Look at this communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea, except that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that killed 50, 100 plus million people, not just killed, tortured, starvation, where people, the cannibalism, they ate each other, they ate their children. There's just dark people should read some books on this, on the Holodomor in the 1930s.
But I disagree.
With that lesson, we would, and now it's becoming more popular. Marxism and communism.
I'm not disagreeing that happened. I'm disagreeing that we need to harp on the things that happen, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact. 50% today of, let's say you don't call black people Jew, right? Black people's deaths today is abortion today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's
Kanye West is doing Holocaust revisionism by comparing the Holocaust to like abortions, okay? A consensual medical process between a consenting adult who has full bodily autonomy that is being informed by their doctor, okay, providing a medical service to the Holocaust. That is an insane comparison to make. Why the fuck is Lex Friedman being like, bro, you know what's really fucked up about what you're doing with this Holocaust revisionism? Communism and cannibalism that happened under communism, which led to 100 million deaths. What the fuck is happening in this convo? Just stick to what he is saying. He's like, bro, I get you. He's like, listen, I get what you're saying. I hate communism. You should hate communism. I hate it. That's kind of right wing. Come on, dude.
genocide and population control that black people are in today in America that is promoted by the music and the media that black people make, that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media companies. Record labels and media company also, so let's give it a wider.
You know, I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too.
Martin Luther
that one
King
day you would not be judged by the color of your skin or your race, black or Jew, but by the content of your character. All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews.
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human with opportunities, and they took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you, you should release your pain and separate it, and we could get to this, the list of how you are a being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm going to let it go. Engineering challenges, I get it. One of the problems you highlight is people get fucked over in the music industry.
This isn't a real conversation. Neither of these two are actually speaking to each other. You can't convince me these two recognize who they're speaking to. I mean, I think Lex Friedman has conflicting interests in this conversation. On the one hand, he wants to push back on the obvious Holocaust revisionist takes. He wants more clarity on the anti-Semitism, maybe address it, maybe counter it. But on the other hand, he also wants to continue having a 2-hour-long podcast. So those two conflicting thoughts are at odds here, and it seems like the podcast brain side of his brain is forcing him to, engage in the lightest form of pushback he possibly could.
industry and get fucked over in the media, get fucked over all over the place.
They created, there was a
Oh, by the way, yeah, Megaphonics. The problem with Lex is he's a capitalist talking to a capitalist about what is clearly a problem with capitalists. So instead of bringing up capitalistic opportunity, he's trying to hedge it in some sort of no. It's not that they're Jews, bro. It's such a half-assed and easily dismissible critique. It just plays into Kanye's paranoia. The reality is you're correct on this. Okay, both Lex and Kanye love capitalism. When you both love capitalism, and Kanye West is saying like, no, it's the bad capitalists that are doing this because they're Jewish, Lex can only counter and say, no, it's not the bad capitalists that are doing this because they're Jewish. It's just individuals, okay? They're just individually choosing to be bad. Some people choose to be bad. Some people choose to be good. Exploitative capitalist practices are conducted by individuals. But the reality is those individuals on their face, if you were to look at them, would not be coming across as bad people. And I don't even think that they are bad people from the same way that we understand it. They're people who are still very much operating within the confines of the system that was presented to all of us as the norm and the best system possible. Okay? Like, yes, we regularly do ascribe morality to the effects of capitalism and the people who suffer under the capitalist organization of the economy. But ultimately, if everyone is operating on the same blank slate, and most people are, the overwhelming majority of people are looking at capitalism and saying, no, that's good, actually, they're not operating outside of the boundaries. Okay? They're not operating outside of the boundaries. They're not doing anything that's like overtly wrong as it pertains to the system. Okay? Which is how you arrive at like weirdo anti-Semitic thoughts about this sort of thing to begin with. There needs to be another motivating principle behind why these guys are being so exploitative. Because it's certainly not capitalism. Yeah, motherfucker, it is capitalism. You get it? It is. The starting point is bad if you look at it. If you think exploitation is bad, then the starting point of capitalism is bad. If you look at the class, if you look at the system from a class perspective of workers who are being exploited across the board by capital owners, then yeah, you're going to think that that's bad. But if you on the one hand think that that's good, and you yourself are a capitalist, you have workers, you're a good boss, you believe that money and wealth is a good thing, it actually shows how good you are as a person when you are successful, then you're going to have to literally point the finger at something else, something that's not tangible, something that is something that you can grasp at.
Jewish trainer that brought me to the hospital and put in press that I went to the hospital. I know friends that off of exhaustion, a Jewish doctor, they diagnosed
Why do you keep saying Jewish?
because they were, right? Diagnosed me with bipolar disorder and shot me with medication and put me on medication, then put it in the press. And every time, even if I wore the wrong color hat that a nigger is not supposed to wear, right? Then they immediately say he's off of his shit, he's off his meds, he's off his rocker, and it's literally used as a scarlet letter control mechanism for the people. Understand the kids, the colleges, the high schools. What do you think they put me right now? They put me as the prophet, not the leader. It doesn't have to be the leader, right? Because
Holy fuck, bro. His mania goes crazy. He's saying the real racism is that a black person can't be Donald Trump supporter, which is wild. And then he's saying that people are controlling me when I behave in a way that is inconsistent with what black people are supposed to behave, which is what he's claiming is, they have to be Democrat or whatever. Then they blame it on his bipolar. They blame it on his mania. The unfortunate reality in this situation, though, is that if that's not the case, if it's not mania, what he refuses to recognize, I think, is that a lot of his defenders also use mania as a way to try and deflect away. Okay? That's the reason why they say, oh, it's just mania. That's why the larger analysis here is that it's not just bipolar disorder, it's not just his mania, but it's also but it's also his own personal belief system that has been rewritten at this point. Okay? His mania might have opened the door up to him believing in, like, as a vulnerable person when he was in a vulnerable mental state where he was looking for any kind of defense, any kind of support he possibly could. I think people took advantage of that and basically rewired him, okay, to believing in these, like, weird conservative takes, insane conservative takes that go all the way to fucking anti-Semitic conspiracies. I don't think he realizes that that's almost an out for him, though. Like, he's like, oh, no, people blame it on my mania. It's like, yeah, people who defend you also blame it on your mania because they're not upset that you're a black person wearing a red hat. They're upset that you're wearing the red hat. They're upset that you're defending right-wing conspiracies. He cannot comprehend that because he can't see anything that is not immediately in front of him. He is so narcissistic that the only way for him to fucking process information is by how it impacts him personally. He doesn't think about, like, anti-Semitism as a larger concept. He doesn't think about, like, defending conspiracy theories or being this, like, unhinged right-wing psychopath as a concept. He only thinks about it as, like, I said these words, which are true because I'm the prophet, and people responded to it in a negative way, and they didn't respond to it in a negative way because the words I said could have ever been, like, wrong, because everything I say is correct, okay? They responded for some other reason, and that other reason must be the top of the hour ad break, because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break, okay? And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or you can do for free with the Twitch Prime if you want an uninterrupted broadcast experience. That was a 10-10. I geared you up so fucking hard, only to let you fucking fall through that little trap door underneath, okay? Pow! Opened up the trap door. Hey, Diabeto! That's a funny name. Thank you for the 5, get the subs. And Leo Man 1-2, thank you for the 5, get the subs as well. This is an own, I hate you. Yeah, I mean, here, AG Blatt, you are correct. I love how it's unfair that a black person can't be a Trump supporter without being manic, according to Kanye, but a doctor can't be Jewish without being part of a global conspiracy against them. Yeah. Tamana, thank you for the 5, get the subs. Here's the one I'm going to ad break now, by the way. Serving it now. Let's continue. The rating system has turned you on the competitive side of your brain and has turned you into a monster. Yeah. I didn't have trust issues until your top of the hour ad breaks. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm teaching you that you shouldn't trust anyone, okay?
We need a more intelligent
Where's the
person
bot?
to be the
452 chatters rated this ad segue an average of 9.06 out of 10. Let's fucking go, dude. Woo! That's a good segue. That was a good segue. Highest of the day. Oh, Jesus. We have to stop discussing his mental issues at this point. Racism is not symptomatic of BPD. This is harming people who are truly going through manic episodes. I have BPD, and I don't go off on some racist shit. No, I understand that. I mention that regularly. But I do think that his vulnerabilities have opened up. His vulnerabilities have certainly allowed people to take advantage of him in a way that, like, in a really fucked up way that he just now personally believes, especially paired up with his, like, narcissism. It's not BPD, by the way. BPD is borderline personality disorder, usually. and you're that chatter's talking about bipolar disorder, BPD's borderline personality. Okay. The grifters did what the grifters do, take advantage of the vulnerable. Yeah, but you know, they jumped on someone who has a massive podium to spread these ridiculous conspiracies off of. And now, you know, we're living in the consequences of it.
The leader, but at least, right? They put me as the prophet. They put me as the only person that would say this. And I'm just saying that was 4 Jewish members that controlled my voice, because for the fact that 90% of black people in entertainment, from sports to music to...
It's just, I'm sorry, man. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy that he doesn't see that, like, this is exactly the same as anti-black racism, which he has also experienced in his life. Like, when you say, well, like, racist people don't just exclusively assume racist thoughts or have racist thoughts for no reason other than, you know, that's just what they learned. They oftentimes will try to rationalize it. Like 1350. They try to rationalize over policing black communities with the 1350 cyclical argument. They try to rationalize it by saying, Andrew Tate has even said something like this, where it's like, oh, well, if I've only been attacked by a black person, well, let's say not black, but purple. That's what he said, if you remember that fucking famous video. It's like, if I've only been attacked by black people, if I've only been robbed by black people, then of course I'm going to be afraid of black people. Like, that's Andrew Tate's, you know, justification for racist anecdotes, racist points of view, having a racist point of view. Does he not realize that this is the exact same justification? Like, oh, well, you know, it's Jewish people that fuck me over in my immediate life, so I'm just going to keep mentioning that they're Jewish and keep saying that I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Well, then, yeah, you're doing the same exact thing.
Acting are in some way tied into Jewish business people, meaning that in some way, just like if Ram is sitting next to Obama or Jared sitting next to Trump,
I gotta pee. I'll be back.
A Jewish person right there controlling the country. The Jewish people controlling that who gets the best video or not, controlling what the media says about me.
It's a person, not Jewish. Let me just say one thing.
But they are, though. That's the only thing. It just so happens that they are. It just so happens that they are. That doesn't mean that I hate them.
Yes,
that just means that they are.
But it's a dog whistle. Let me just say, as I would love to add more love to the world, I would love you to do that as a person with a big voice, with a big, powerful voice that a lot of people look up to. And when you say Jewish media, it's funny how this world works that way. When you say Jewish media or Jews are controlling the voice of black artists, black people, black artists, when you say that...
Am I not allowed to say it out loud?
You can say it. There's a large number of people that are hurting and have anger and even have hate in their heart when they hear Jewish media. That hate starts being directed towards the Jewish people. Do you acknowledge that? Do you understand? Can you feel the hate in the world that comes to the surface when you say stuff like that?
Okay, I feel that when we go into therapy, my dad was a therapist, and obviously I've got some therapy skills myself. A lot of people, my music is healing.
Oh yeah.
These type of spa-like existences are healing.
That's like identical to Kanye West, identical to Donald Trump, by the way. Like, my uncle was in MIT. I got some of it through osmosis. Yeah. When he said, I got some of it, I thought he was going to say, like, I need some therapy myself, as you can see. He's like, nope. He's like, my dad was a therapist, so, you know, I'm also naturally gifted as a therapist.
healing. The color palettes I use are healing, and we can use healing words, right? What I really feel I feel that there's no accountability and no responsibility on Jewish people in media to at least start with owning up with the facts of what's dealt with and tell me if I say the facts out loud, to the point of Ari Emanuel writing a letter in the Financial Times trying to take food out of my children's mouth, telling people that they're not allowed to work with me. Even Chris Como or Pierce Morgan getting me to apologize and separate Jewish business people from the families of the Jewish business.
I don't think he realized Piers Morgan was like kind of doing him a favor a little bit. But he literally was just like trying to get you to do the right thing. And when you failed to do so, when you refused to do so, he was trying to make it seem like you were actually doing the right thing when you weren't. Did this fucking billionaire really just say taking food out of my children's mouth? Yeah. Also, the wildest part about it is that like none of this would have happened if he just didn't say Jewish businessmen and kept going at it. Because the truth of the matter is, it is businessmen. Okay? It's not Jewish businessmen. It's just businessmen. That is what capitalists do. And the exploitation that he experienced is real. The exploitation that a lot of people experience under capitalism is real. Okay? But he just can't. He can't just say it like that. He has to say, oh man, it's Jews. Jewish people. Yeah, of course people are going to get mad at that because that is anti-Semitic.
People, which I did. Update. I did that. That already happened. And
that was a shitty apology. That wasn't really an apology. But shout out to that conversation.
I need to get on my knees and kiss the dick of Howard Stern. And
you don't need to kiss anyone's dick.
But that's what you guys are acting like.
You guys, look at that.
Because you're talking about it's a shitty opinion, apology. But where's our fucking apology? Watch this.
Sorry.
We don't get. Thank you. Now let's move on.
Sorry. Do I need to get on my knees or no?
And kiss my dick.
Oh shit.
So
this escalated quickly.
So that sexcalated quickly. So
nice.
What? No, I'm saying where's our apology? But right, we can't.
Look, they're doing it in the chat. If a pit bull attacks you out of nowhere, wouldn't you be more cautious next time you see a pit bull, bro? This is what I'm saying. Like, dude, you're not the first person to come in here with this snide fucking remark, okay? If you're comparing black people to pit bulls, okay, or if you're comparing pit bulls to Jewish people, you're a fucking psycho, all right? And no, you're talking to also someone who had a pit bull, so, like, I love pit bulls, so very, very dumb, very exclusively dumb chat to bring this up in. Okay? That is the literal Andrew Tate argument. Yes, I know. He's doing it right now. Even with pit bulls, of course, it's all about the owner. It's all about the lack of training. Ironic because just like the false statistics that a lot of people use when trying to justify their racism, if you look at pit bull attacks and shit like that, dogs that harm humans at a disproportionate rate are not pit bulls. It's fucking, what is it, golden retrievers and German shepherds, chihuahuas. Oh, Labrador, not golden retrievers. Dalmatians. There are there's Mr. Worldwide is hurting people. Yeah.
Get to apology because you're telling me there's no right way for me to word it. So tell me, for me, a person who's been fucked on my deals and a person that has friends that never figured out how to make shoes with a German company that couldn't tell me to wear a BLM shirt and take off my red hat, like what would have happened if I was at Nike, right? Tell me exactly.
Wait, didn't Adidas just drop him today too? He literally said, I don't give a fuck what I say. Like, Adidas will never drop me, even if I say shit about Jewish people. Didn't Adidas, like, drop him today or something? Or did that not happen? Oh, no. Never mind. He's just been dropped by CAA, and they're still putting pressure on Adidas. I was wrong about that. People are demanding Adidas drop Kanye West. But he literally fucking said, dude, he said on Drink Champs that, like, he could be as anti-Semitic as he wants and Adidas will never drop him. And I don't know what the fuck the reason for that is. What is that? He also keeps bringing up that they're German. Like, he's hitting. Stop saying German company. Are you guys fucking stupid? Germans are literally like he'll go to jail in Germany. If half the shit he's saying here, if he said in Germany, they would put him in jail. Germany does not fuck around with that. Germany is, like, for understandable reasons, very aggressive about any kind of like Holocaust revisionism.
Exactly how to engineer the situation
I'll
I'm
tell
in.
you exactly how. You got a big voice. Have the balls as a man to call out the individuals. Don't call them Jews. Call them by their name and start a war against those individuals. They're not Jewish.
But if that's the case, will you help me with that?
Sure.
Here's the thing I don't understand. Why doesn't anybody just say, brother, there is no, like, secret Jewish council meeting or some shit where they're like, where every Jewish person is, like, learning to behave a certain way. Their Judaism is not motivating them to act out in this way. It's their social conditioning under capitalism. That's precisely why you don't only see Jewish people exploiting you. You see fucking plenty of Anglo-Saxon Protestants exploit you as well. It's your anti-Semitism that makes you hyper-focus on Jewish people exploiting you, which is a subject for a different conversation. But, like, that's the only reason why you're singling out Jewish people. And when you do, you're not even just talking about the people that are exploiting you. You're talking about Jews in general.
Okay.
100%. Assholes are well, let me, like, flip that too. I don't understand the industry well. I see that people are fucking people over for sure. But how do you solve that? If you right now run the world's you're doing a million things, but say you ran also a record label.
I have ran a record label. Well, I've been ran by a record label where I was the face of a record label and had Big Sean and different people complaining to me, and I knew fuck about running a record label. I was simply just a talented
It's
producer.
gonna be like Big Sean, another guy with a big penis. Hate the guy. A lot of guys with big penises on my mind lately.
Producer and an influencer
Yes.
that then started good music, but I wasn't the one running good music.
How would you do it differently?
This is something I propose. I would look at the top 10 execs in 3 fields: in sports, film, and music. And I would look at the top 10 clients, participant, talent. I would look at the top talent in each of those fields, the top 10 of them. And some of them are going to be Tom Brady. Some of them are going to be Taylor Swift. Some of them, they're not all going to be black, right? Some of them will be Adele, right? And we'll look at all their contracts transparently, and we'll compare the notes and re-engineer like it's a new constitution.
Yeah.
Because when I told my dad when I was 19 that I was going to get into the music industry, he begged me not to. He said, I heard it's treacherous. Now I'm in a position where I've been through it. I saw it. I went out, made some money somewhere else. I saw my name get smeared. I saw my family get destroyed. I saw my reputation get destroyed. And I'm back here to have this I'm back here as a being with engineering opportunities.
So
Wait a second. If you say it's a shitty apology, what is the version of the apology short of kissing Howard Stern's dick?
I don't think anyone wants to kiss Howard Stern's dick.
That's the whole point, Howard Stern. Nobody wants to kiss your dick, so shut the fuck up. I said, by the way, I'm antagonized you, Howard Stern. I used to be a fan of you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, for the record. Not super big fan, but like, you know, I recognize his space in a field that I'm also kind of in as well. But he's such a fucking petulant little lib, dude. He's a pestering lib. God, he is so fucking annoying. He's like, I love Hillary Clinton. I love Hillary Clinton. For those of you saying radio, what I do is literally the internet version of what, and I've said this time and time again, what Howard Stern has done and what even, you know, Rush Limbaugh has done. And it's just my ideology is dramatically different, but
Yeah.
I'm still a fan sometimes.
Now you're just doing clickbait like everybody else. Now you're just a sad old man, Howard.
All right.
Now, Howard Stern, this is the first time anyone's said your name in years. Your own family doesn't say your name unless they're calling to get their bills paid.
You're going hard. I'm
probably right about that.
See, that's beautiful right there. That's much better than calling Jewish media. Go after individuals.
Okay,
Go
so
after individuals.
and
If you don't talk
and-
shit about me, talk shit about me. This is great.
and you know what that is?
Yeah, what's that? Engineering.
That's an engineer's approach.
Yeah, engineers. Yeah. Yeah. You should
What?
learn some of that.
We all can use
no, man, he's trying to teach you how to like criticize people, not like a fucking anti-Semitic child, but like an adult. But he's trying to also do it while saving face for capitalism. That's what's happening here. Okay? So he's like, yeah, it's just the individuals. It's just the individuals. I promise, it's just the individuals.
our pain against each other.
Yeah.
Or we can say we're a being with engineering opportunities, and we can know about history. So let me change something. We can have just to be judgmental. People say thou shalt not judge. I was talking to Camille Vasquez. She says, I'm very judgmental. That's what we're doing. I believe, now you could go to the Bible and one thing's going to say one thing, another thing may be contradicted in a way, and then the pastor has to unpack it.
Bro, we're not even halfway through the Holocaust convo. What the fuck? How is this going to tie back the Holocaust?
That we are to judge. If you look at some food and it's got a fly coming out of it, you can then judge at that point. You're supposed to.
Camille Vasquez is his lawyer now, by the way, the famous defamation lawyer from the Johnny Depp trial is now, or she dropped him? Not anymore? Okay, never mind. That was quick.
Use your better judgment. But whenever someone doesn't want to change something they're doing, they'll say, don't
Holy
judge
fuck,
me.
that was quick.
Right? But as a species, you called for me. You got the breakthrough. And by the way, it's only an engineer that I would respect to tell me of how to update how I'm communicating. Because this started off, right? I've been through all these interviews. Let me go to this. You said this was a sorry apology. I was very specific. I said, the Jewish, because by the way, it's a barrage, right? It's a thing where I don't even remember the names at a certain point, right? It's like if a girl was getting raped by men, if that person is not 18, right? And she was getting raped since 14, right? And she still got this face, this super like Irina Shayk level face, right?
What
she might say, I hate men. That woman may say, I hate men. She might get to that point because she was raped. On my contracts, and no one can say this is ramped up. No one, Howard Stern can't say this is ramped up. Ari Emanuel can't say this is ramped up. George Soros knows damn well that I'm not ramped up. George Soros knows, like, wow, this guy.
Bro, he is so deranged, dude. Come on, Lex. You keep letting him fucking say. You keep letting him say George Soros. What the fuck, dude? What are you doing? By the way, because Kanye West is not media trained enough to fucking to hide his like underlying anti-Semitic thoughts, you get to peek into the George Soros conspiracies in a very honest way. You feel me? He's so unfiltered that you get to see what oftentimes libs are saying when they're like, oh, George Soros, like that's an anti-Semitic conspiracy or whatever the fuck. It's like, bro, come on. Yeah, George Soros, billionaire, philanthropist, has a lot of like weird foundations that work in like Eastern Europe and in other places. George Soros is a billionaire, is doing this, is a billionaire capitalist, is doing this shit for, the liberal democracy, civil society foundations. Again, uplifting capitalist ideology everywhere, okay? But the reason why he fucking keeps bringing up George Soros is because, it ties into the same exact fucking anti-Semitic bullshit. Not only is it that, though, but also, like, why the fuck would George Soros know anything about Kanye West contracts, man? Why? Why would George Soros know anything about Kanye West contracts? He's like 98 years old, man. What the fuck does George Soros know about Kanye West's fucking music contracts, dude? Unless you literally think like all Jews are fucking getting together in a room and having this kind of conversation. It's insane. Like, it makes no sense. It's unhinged. Unless you are also motivated by the same exact fucking principles that he's operating off of. Which is that, like, the underlying premise here is that, like, Jews control the media, Jews control the world, blah, 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 blah. And George Soros, Jewish billionaire.
Guy's like a younger guy that's looking at what I did and looking at how I control the world silently. And he's calling it out. And he's not using any of the fear tactics. I can't send his homeboys around him. I can't send his wife to him. This guy, that's what George Soros sees, right? When he's dealing with me.
Bro, okay, this is like not even manic at this point. This is just fucking paranoid, borderline schizophrenic. He thinks that George Soros and him are both controlling the world and he's doing it silently. Dude, no way this is the guy that wrote the music I enjoyed 15 years ago. No, this is a completely different, unhinged person, dude. It's just like, I mean, this is, I see this from like stalkers, you know what I mean? Like, he literally thinks he controls the world and George Soros controls the world and they're fighting each other. Like, that's what he thinks is going on right now.
Right? So what you guys are actually asking me to do, I'm comparing myself to that 18-year-old beautiful woman that had been mistreated by men for 4 years of her life, right? And you're saying, as a man, you can't blame all men. And I'm saying,
bro, he has to ask, come on, Legs, what the fuck? Ask him how George Soros is coming after him. He just literally said he controls the world. He said George Soros controls the world, And then he said he also is silently controlling the world. And that's what George Soros is mad about, which is why he's sending his fucking family members after him. You're just going to let that hang there? That's insane.
As a responsible, you can't blame all men. And I'm saying, as a responsible, forward philosopher leader, okay, I'll drop the pain and I will specify, because I'm up here, I lost my fucking family.
That analogy doesn't work. That analogy doesn't work because a woman that has been like raped by men, or a woman that has been a victim of sexual assault and sexual violence by men, hating all men or saying fuck all men or being afraid of all men, okay, is still coming at it from a place of being angry at the patriarchal construct that we exist under. There is no such similarities or established social constructs around Jewish control. That's the difference, okay? That's the main difference. There's a legitimate reason to be upset and frustrated, especially as a victim of sexual violence towards a patriarchal construct. There is no legitimate reason to be like, oh man, all Jews, you know? I'm just mad because the Jews around me fucked me over, so I'm just mad at all Jews. But like, it's because I'm a victim. You should let me be mad at all Jews. Like, there is no Jewish supremacist construct that we exist under in the same way that we exist under a patriarchal construct that makes it so that victims of sexual violence do not get to have their day in court or do not get to be heard and all this other stuff.
Family, I lost my kids, I lost my best friend in fashion, I lost the black community, I lost, people said I lost my mind, all of these things, lost my reputation, and I'm up here just like, I just want my family, but I don't want my family to have to say what the left wants us to say. To have to say what.
This is so sad, bro. You have children too. Like, he thinks like, again, super narcissistic, doesn't believe his actions are in any way wrong, thinks he's infallible. Therefore, it can't be my actions that have like pushed my family away from me. It can't be that I went on a fucking anti-Semitism podcast tour for the past week or past month almost now that is the reason why companies are dropping me. It must be something else. It must be a Jewish conspiracy. It must be George Soros taking Kim Kardashian away from me.
China wants us to say, I want to be an American and protect my kids and protect my wife and raise my kids as Christians and have my wife be a Christian and innovate, and America made rock and roll. I want to innovate as a creative person and be a successful American, but all of that had been taken away from me. So I'm coming back and I'm removing the PSTD right now, right? I'm standing up and saying the only way that we're going to be able to get past this and the way God is going to use me right now is for me to stop talking about the pain, stop talking about what happened, and do something about it. And that's where I'm at right now in this moment. Like, yeah, people agree. At least there was something where you could say he has a reason of why he got to that tweet. And what you're doing for me today is saying, that was a sorry apology, and let's specify. I'm not asking for anyone out here to empathize or sympathize for a dude worth $11 billion that can make money disappear. Appear out of thin air in 5 different industries. I'm not asking for anybody to sympathize with someone who's married to Kim Kardashian, dated Irina Shayk, but like I feel like I'm just not going to get the sympathy vote in this situation, right? So
I feel your pain.
Yeah, I feel like no one's going to feel my pain. Only Brad and Leo can feel my pain, right? So
this makes the Genius dog even sadder than it already was. I mean, remember, that was one that he had control over too in the narrative, and it still came across exactly how it was supposed to. Of a dude who just straight up fucking alienated everyone around him. He didn't actually. No, he did. No. I thought the earlier episodes they say that like Kanye West originally was like looking over. What do you mean he didn't? He literally went to the fucking premiere, didn't he? Am I crazy? I think he hates it now, but I'm pretty sure he had he didn't. They put it out first. Then he said that the worst part is he had enough money and resources to get help, but chose to take the L. Am I making this up? What the fuck? Hold on. Genius director refuses Ye's final edit request. Yeah, I thought that there was only one piece that he he wanted a final edit approval over a new 3-part documentary, but they Mandela Effect, brother. Directors Cootie and Chike say that they don't plan on granting the rapper editorial over the project. In a recent interview with Rolling Stone, director said they hadn't heard from Ye before the Instagram post and the 3-part documentary, which was already finished at the time. Oh shit, I was so wrong. But the two weren't surprised when Ye called them to open the edit room immediately. If Ye wasn't as polarizing a character as he was, we wouldn't have had an interesting doc. One Piece, isn't that the anime you're watching? Wait, what? Cootie told Rolling Stone that he ran into Ye on Monday. The Instagram post didn't come up in the conversation. The rapper had yet to watch the documentary. I asked him, did he watch the film? And he said, I have a process. I thought he literally went to the fucking... He went to the... Didn't he go to the... Didn't he go to the release? Yeah, he like literally went.
I just want to bring my brother. But it took a village, man. We got everybody here. GLC, JB, everybody come up here, man. Where y'all at? John.
No, I'm not thinking of the premiere of the Candace Owens doc. He actually went to the Los Angeles screening. I'm not making this up. Of course, part 1 is the nicest part because part 1 is before he goes crazy. Part 3 is the part that he definitely did not appreciate, most likely. If you watched it, I watched it. Yeah, part 3 is the part where he would have an issue with because that part actually shows the downfall pretty much.
But still,
but here today, when you said it's a sorry apology, what's the apology that you're looking for as a Jewish engineer? Not say as Lex. Let's not talk about you being Jewish. As Lex, what's the apology that you want me to say to? Am I allowed to say Jewish? Tell me, is it anti-Semitic for Ye to say Jewish out loud?
no, there's I don't like the allowed. That presumes censorship. I think you choose. You have a powerful voice.
Did I prove that there was censorship over the past 2 weeks?
Who censored you? Oh, Drink Champs.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, like Twitter and so on?
Twitter.
That has less to do.
Drink Champs.
That hurt you, the Drink Champs, that Nora took down your conversation.
No.
It didn't hurt you. Man, you got to be honest about the pain.
We're still the kids we used to be. I put my hand on the stove to see if I still bleed. and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. No, do you think, I went to Japan for 2 to 3 months, right? The day I had Sunday service, my kids are supposed to be there, and my kids were nowhere to be found. And I text Kim and said, "Where are my kids?" We get into an argument, and then I get a text from a number I don't know, and it's Pete Davidson bragging about being in bed with my wife.
I mean, dude, that one was what? Oh my God. Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, shit.
Then,
Just fucking with you?
well, at that point, it's like they're trying to put me in jail or put a friend of mine in jail. Because then I'm going to go surround the hotel and do something which would have me not be able to be here. And instead I walk.
That's a great example of what I was talking about. It's like, even if he were to go and like, and fucking like kill Pete Davidson or something, like he's kind of implying, it's still not his fault. It's still not his fault. He is incapable of he's incapable of seeing how that would be his fault.
Walked away from that situation. I went to Japan like the samurai that I am and went to the top of the mountain. And because I knew there was no way she could love this dude, not just because he's ugly. He's not black. She likes black guys. Every guy that she, is with looks exactly the same. Ray J, Reggie Bush, at that time, Kanye West, she has a type. Just like how I have a type. Like a lot of my girls look kind of similar to her because in a video game character, people have their type, right? So I knew that this was like
the princess has a type and she likes Mario.
Right, there you go.
As somebody who cares for you and hopefully can be a friend, I gotta say these words and the words about Jews is not the words of a samurai, of a great man.
Lex Freeman said, samurais would not be anti-Semitic.
I would say, you said something that resonated with a lot of people when you.
Yeah, he's writing it down. He's like, not the samurai way. He's writing it down. He's like upset, but taking notes. Samurai. Not anti-Semitic. Not a part of the samurai code of honor.
Said George Bush doesn't care about black people. I have to.
Pete Davidson's dick is so big it made Kanye climb Mount Fuji and contemplate his life. Yo! Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, Jesus.
As somebody who cares for you, that Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, doesn't care about Jewish people. In the same way you spoke about George Bush being a politician and not giving a fuck about the poor people that suffered after Katrina, you're not giving a fuck about the suffering of the Jewish people across the world.
Wow.
It's crazy. Because he apologized for the George Bush thing, actually. I mean, Lex is right, but I don't think Kanye is going to retort. Let's see what he says, but...
Why am I not?
Because you're giving strength, motivation.
But we already updated. I gave an apology. You said it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's right. It's
And
not.
now you're telling me, no, I'm not
No,
gonna.
no, no. You don't need to kiss anyone's dick. What you
You're
have to
asking
do,
me to
you have
kiss
to
the
say
dick.
was wrong to say. There's no Jewish media. There's no Jewish.
There isn't.
There's no control of the media by Jewish
You're an
people.
engineer, brother. If you're an engineer and you're not holding to the truth, that's not engineering.
Engineering is not. That's not. That doesn't. That's hate. That's not engineering.
No,
Engineering
it's called.
says I'm gonna build a better record label.
It's called.
Damn, call him out, Kanye. He said, Lex, you're a fake engineer, dude. How about you engineer some bitches, dog? Get the fuck out of here. You better engineer a different you better engineer a different retort right now. He's like, nope, not getting off this point. He's like, that's a redundancy. He's gonna hold on to the Jewish media thing forever, it seems like.
Called stereotypes.
And I'm going to respect our
stereotypes exist for a reason.
engineers. Don't do stereotypes.
I do.
Stereotypes are dumb. They allow you to channel
Yes and no.
hate towards the other.
You know what the biggest thing is?
Yeah.
With something a veteran that was sitting next to me at Cheesecake Factory last night. He said,
What a fucking bro, what is that take? Wait, that sentence is crafted for me. He said he's at Cheesecake Factory with a veteran that's sitting next to him. No one has been more divorced, okay, than Kanye West. That is the most divorced dad in America right now, dude. Holy shit.
you know, the general justice, he serves for whoever is the president, right? And he said, what's happening in politics is we're forgetting we're on the same side. We're forgetting we're on this. This is someone is practically, now he's a nurse. So he's still, fighting for humanity in a way. He went from holding, guns in battle to being a nurse. And when people are battling for their lives. And he said, we're forgetting we're on the same side. This is a person that no matter who becomes president, he can still be told to go to war. And the chaos that's created by the media has split the country in half. And what us as beings with an engineer opportunity need to do right now is find the blue water. Where are places that we agree on? And I want you to finish everything. Hey,
What?
I'm gonna let you finish everything
I've heard that before.
you want to express to me. Get off all. I'm your scarecrow today. I'm your punching bag today for everything I did, and I want you to stand up for all of the hate. That I'm your Al Gore when he lost the election. Remember, he almost became a punching bag for the lady that had voted on him. And she just said all this stuff. And he's like, I know, I agree with you, right? But there's nothing, that he could do about it. With this, it's like things that you're saying, I agree with you. It's like if you sit some kids in the principal's office and I punch somebody, right? I took my hand, right, as what it really means. Even Aria Emanuel had to say, this is a pop icon, right? And I went and just punched an entire people at one time, or said that I was about to. I went like this, right?
Well, you did
and I
do
got
that.
blacked out, black mirrored, done, right? And it's like, what were you even going to do? And why did you go like this? I went like this because I can't even do, I would look insane to physically show you a metaphor, a physical representation of my last 20 years of what I've been through as a musician, as a father, and as a black person with a political opinion.
A great man still through the pain does the right thing. And I think the right thing is to not say that there's Jewish control of the media. And
that's incorrect, though. That's a fucking lie. There is. And they did come and bully me. It proved the point.
No, the reason you don't say it is because the world is much bigger than the, forgive me, the narrow little world you exist in. Your impact stretches way past those little boardroom meetings over contracts.
So what
You
should I have
understand?
done? What should I have done?
Not say that you should
No,
be a
but
strong man that doesn't mention religion or people, and then fight. Do you want to win this fight?
how do I
Because it's not-
win? How do we win?
call out individual people. Build. That's one way because they have a big voice. The other voice that I prefer is to build another label or support another
like
label that does it better.
you're controlling my creative narrative and because just like how you're telling me I shouldn't have said that, do you think there were
Podcasting should be illegal. Fuck it. Nah. No, dude. How else would you get gems like this? He said my creative narrative. He's about to be like, Lex, you're being real Jewish right now with this media narrative control, okay? He's like 1 second away from dropping it, dude. Madness.
people telling me I shouldn't have wore a red hat?
His creative narrative is literally just like being anti-Semitic, okay? That's insane. No, sorry, man. I got to keep up my creative narrative here. You know, you're controlling my creativity by not letting me be anti-Semitic.
No, because you asked me, what should I have done? You're supposed to be a scarecrow, so I thought I'm gonna beat the shit out of the scarecrow with my words, right? You let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It was consensual.
The punching bag is a bad because scarecrow actually has a different
Yeah,
real
that's right.
meaning.
I'm like,
So let's say a
that's right.
punching bag. I shouldn't
Yeah.
say a scarecrow.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
every single person that I've sat with from the point when I wore the red hat till now has done the same thing. Sit in the principal's office and don't do what you're doing.
We're in the janitor's closet right now together,
Yeah.
and I'm not. The red hat is very different. The red hat is you have a set of beliefs. You represent half the country that has
Yep, there it is. Lex, hit him with the center right, dude. Go ahead.
a hope, a vision for the future of America that's very different than without any purpose whatsoever saying Jewish media, Jewish control of the media.
You said there's no purpose, so you're taking away my history and my reason of what my purpose was.
I'm saying
No, man. The red hat is also just symbolism. It just represents bad ideas. Why can't motherfuckers that have podcasts that are tailored to the Joe Rogan audience just openly state that? With the exception of like Sam Harris, who has lived the fuck up and, certainly has very right-wing takes when it comes to like Muslims and how to deal with them and shit. I have never heard any of these dudes just be like, no, man, it's just the truth. Like, it's reactionary. It's garbage. It is against progress. It is, it's antithetical to civil liberties. That's what the Republican Party is based off of. That's what the reactionary commentary is based off of. That's what conservatism is built around. It is what it is. The red hat is not the reason why people are mad at Kanye West. It wasn't just wearing any red hat. He was saying a bunch of things that accompanied the red hat idea. Things like slavery was a choice. Potentially even in the parts that they never released, like defending Hitler, apparently. We don't know. That's the words of at least some of the people from TMZ. You know what I mean? That's what people are mad at. People aren't just, you're not just wearing a red hat. And of course, understandably, Kanye went through the natural trajectory that you go through after being a conservative and moved further and further into the darker side of conservatism and has arrived at the anti-Semitic conspiracy side of conservatism.
Also, it can.
I'm speaking my voice, vocalizing.
Also,
yeah,
it's God's plan. There's a lot of things that open up. Let me tell you something that opened up. There's a guy, like I told you, that was running STEM Player, who I've had issues with. We hadn't got paid on time, certain things, right? And he took his IQ, his know-how, his engineering know-how he basically was trying to Adidas me with, even though I was the bigger money in the situation. That was fun, and we funded together. And he hired these engineers, and he said, well, because of your comments, we're not going to be able to hire anybody else. And I was like, well, how many Jewish people do we have in our company? He said, I don't know. He didn't say exactly, right? I said, do we have black people? He said, yes. I said, how many? He said, 2. So we have like 60 full-time employees, like 40 half-time and part-time. And I took as a responsibility. Let's take a step back from the us being one species and say, hey, you're Jewish, I'm black, right?
Why step back?
For this example, for the
All
sake
right.
of this example.
Cool.
And I said, wow, I'm sure I can hire more than 2 black engineers. And what happens is, because there are so many businessmen that just so happen to be Jewish, that it's good business, right? Just to monopolize. That's what people are looking. Everybody wants to be Elon, right? So
I disagree with that.
okay, but let me finish this
Sure.
point.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
A lot of businessmen want to be as successful as Elon and as popular as Elon. A lot. Like, it just worded like that, which I hate the term a lot, actually. I want to be more specific, but I haven't done the math on it. Let's say some. Factually, for sure, there are some business people of all different walks and backgrounds that would like to be as rich and as popular as Elon Musk. So let me just take a step back from the we're one species into the...
He's such a Reddit guy, dude. He's a Reddit guy who went to fucking poll, okay? Like, he's just like, Pog, Elon, Bat Chest. Everybody wants to be Elon. He sounds exactly like the motherfuckers who come in here whenever I'm criticizing Elon to be like, you're just jealous of him. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry, says Jojo the Mofo. $50, dude. Stop. If you're going to spend $50, spend it on 10 gifted subs so 10 people can avoid the top of the hour ad break. Okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break, and that ad break is coming right now. All right? Jojo the Mofo gifted 50 gifted subs, goddamn. Allowing 50 people to no longer see the ads. Bro, if you didn't get a gifted sub, you're never getting one, okay? But the 60-second ad break comes for you unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Kind of weak compared to your last. Okay, they're not all going to be fucking incredible, but that one was a decent segue. Reddit doesn't even like Musk, jackass. Man, shut the fuck up. Acting like Wall Street Bets doesn't exist as a fucking, popular subreddit. Trev Tennessee, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Reddit hates Elon now. I'm going to be honest, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of this is not about the Holocaust. Okay?
We're separated by race, gender, socioeconomic class conversation, and say, as a black owner of 2 tech platforms, hardware and software, I need to
Centrist Normie, they give it the 5 get the subs.
action. Let's not call it affirmative. Let's just say I need to take action, and I need to take accountability in ensuring that black engineers are hired, and guess what? Hired together. Because when the black people that are brilliant are separated from our culture, we forget who we are. And we'll get to a point where...
I've gotten to a point where I hate Kanye West when he says, like, I'm not saying hate Kanye West in general, but I hate it when he says, like, things that actually make sense because of, like, 98% of his commentary making no sense whatsoever. So, like, when he actually does make sense, like, oh, there's, there aren't a lot of black engineers out there. We need to do something about it. It's like it's getting lost in the sauce, or worse, it's being tarnished. because that message is tacked along to all the worst shit that you could imagine. Like, even when he's trying to talk about black engineers, he does it in the weirdest way possible. If your goal is to have more black engineers and you recognize that it comes from a lack of adequate opportunity for black students in this country, then try to solve the problem at the systemic level or directly in your life. That's a great way to go about it. Not a single person would get mad at him. People would praise him for it, as a matter of fact. But instead, he's just like, well, there's a lot of Jews here. What the fuck is up with that? We should just fire all the Jews. That's insane. What do you mean?
OJ would say, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Because just to be on the golf course, we put on the golf shirt. But the golf shirt might not be something that our culture would have done. And now our culture in poorer communities is, everybody's got Draco on them. Everybody's got a gun on them. Oh, if you run up on me on the gas station, I'm going to kill you. Hey, you ain't got to talk to me like a man if I haven't killed at least 5 people. But you know what happens is we can kill 5 people. We could kill 10 people and still be in the media as long as we play by the rules, right? Because what will happen is any of these guys that have talked about killing people and different things, unless Trump had pardoned them, right? But let's say, even if Trump had pardoned them, they could still go to someone like a Lil Boozy or Meek Mills or Puff Daddy, anybody, and say, hey, we need you to talk shit about Ye right now. And also, you're not allowed, if you do want to vote for Trump or vote outside of what this arrangement is, then we're going to put you in jail. We're not going to bring you down. We have this on you. You get what I'm saying? If I had ever killed someone, if I wasn't the bitch with the pink polo on, I wouldn't be able to be the vocal man that I am today. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why I'm happy that my gangster disciple brothers kept me from the initiations, which made me feel like a pussy my whole life, right? But now I am someone who legally can say this. Other people in my position, they legally cannot speak. They legally cannot speak, or they will go to prison. I am in a bit of a glass prison because I don't have say-so of where my children go to school. But I'm in a freedom place where I can have this conversation with you.
I feel like even his take there is like rooted within like weird resentment towards black people. Like that sentiment itself is rooted within like, and this is the most Kanye thing, but it of course still revolves around his own personal experiences. I was not part of the it crowd because I was not gangster enough. And I felt like a nerd. I felt like a loser. But look at me now. It's all those guys that went the gangster route that don't have the power to be able to say these things that I'm saying. It's just like that in and of itself is like, not recognizing that that is a consequence of systemic discrimination is anti-black. If a white person said that, you would understand it as anti-black. Same with Candace Owens. Motherfuckers saying killings don't happen for socioeconomic reasons. Black people just like the killing. Killers are inherently bad people. Self-defense doesn't exist. He's so deranged. It's just like it's something that you would hear from Candace Owens. Something that you hear a lot from Candace Owens, as a matter of fact.
Right now. And that is, I don't like the word breakthrough. That's God's hand on this situation. But you get what I'm saying about if I hadn't said the tweet, I wouldn't have had to take the accountability myself to hire Black engineers into my 2 tech platforms.
Yeah, and do you get what I'm saying? That's a beautiful personal journey you're on. But do you get what I'm saying?
It's not personal, it's for my people as a whole. As a
it's
tribal
a small
person,
company. It's a small company.
as a tribal person, I believe that I am my people.
Yeah.
And the thing that businessmen have done to my people have pulled the brightest out of our tribes and siloed them and made us lose our culture and lose who they were. The only thing I wanted to say at Virgil's funeral, which I wasn't allowed to, right?
I wonder
There was
why.
a white pastor that talked the majority of the funeral. Half the funeral was pissed, right? And this pastor actually married me and Kim, right? He looks like Justin Timberlake a little bit.
Wait, is that like one of those, what is it, Hillsong youth pastor types? Is that who he's talking about?
He talked half the funeral. He knew Virgil was passing, did a collaboration with him before he passed, by the way, right? A clothing collaboration. I didn't know Virgil was passing, but the thing I wanted to say, I saw ASAP Rocky and I saw some other members of his gang, in the audience at the funeral. And all I wanted to tell him is,
Rich Wilkerson Jr., a friend of both Kim and Kanye, runs a 1,500-member young adult ministry in Florida. Got a Chris Hemsworth, Leo DiCaprio thing going on. No. Wilkerson has been a friend of both Kim and Kanye after they attended one of his services during a trip in Florida back in 2012. Rich and his church became a safe haven for Kim and Kanye. Wilkerson is associated pastor at the Trinity Church in Miami. It's non-denominational. The 30-year-old who comes from a long line of pastors also heads the Rendezvous, a young adult ministry at the church. He's all right. He's like a good-looking white dude. I don't know. I thought he was a Hillsong guy. Anyway, let's continue.
don't let them split the gang up. Don't let them split the gang up. When I did the first Yeezy, because I did Kanye West.
It's not even -1. That's $650 Canadian because that guy was a Canuck.
2 fashion shows before as a high-end luxury, all leather kind of designer, not all leather, but high-end materials, mink, this kind of thing. And then I came back with Yeezy with Adidas. And this fashion show was so popular that Justin Bieber had to sit in the second row, right? This thing had every name you could think of. It had Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Kendall Jenner. It was Kylie's first fashion show she'd been in. And in the second fashion show, I put Kylie and Bella Hadid next to each other in the fashion show. You had Puff Daddy. At that time, Puff Daddy had beef with Drake. Drake still came to the show, and Jay-Z had to break up the fight backstage. The designers, you had Jerry Lorenzo, that's head of Fear God. You had Kim Schraub, head of Skims. You had Virgil Abloh, head of Louis Vuitton. You had Dimna, head of Balenciaga, all working for Ye, for the leader, for the philosopher, right? For the person who put this together? Me, that's who, right? You had these people working for the king of New York, basically the boss, Ye, right? You had
Bro, he popped off so hard, the fucking captions broke, dude.
Jay-Z in the audience, Rihanna in the audience, Beyonce in the audience sitting next
By the way, this is still under the Holocaust proportion of the programming. Interesting decisions were made here.
to Anna Wintour in this audience. And guess who heard wind of this? One of the richest men in the world, Bernard Arnault, caught wind of this. What's going on? They're building up something, and we need to stop it. So then he met with me and politely offered me backing for my clothing line. It would be Kanye West. They would get 49%, 51%. I would get 49%. They'd have control, and they were going to give me all of the support from Louis Vuitton. So I had to go to Adidas, and I told Adidas, hey, let's indemnify the apparel. So Adidas, you're not going to do the apparel anymore. Hey, we had a good time, but we're going to run off with Giselle now, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like you told your girl that, and she's like, oh no, we had the proudest moment of our career and stuff. So then he offers me the deal, and Alexander Arnault, who's gone on and rape and pillage from all of the talent that I had afterwards, I say, before I tell Adidas to indemnify the apparel, can I get a written contract from your dad, Bernard Arnault? And he says, my dad will never go back on his word. So you already know what this thing is going, right? Yeah. You can, spoiler alert, right? He went back on his word. So 3 months into the deal, I get Anna Wintour.
By the way, he's describing, Bernard Arnault is the French dude, okay? Louis Vuitton, LVMH. And this basically is the explanation as to why I think why he had so much resentment for what do you call it? For Virgil Abloh too, right? Which, by the way, why doesn't he have this animosity for the French? Why doesn't he have this animosity for the Christians? I don't think he's Jewish, right? Is he? I don't think so. Like, he's talking about, yeah, wait a minute. This guy's trying to fuck him. Imagine if it was just the French fashion cartel is keeping me down. That'd be pretty funny.
I say, who should I use for my lawyer? She picks my lawyer for me, right? I just found out even a couple of days that the lawyer demanded an airplane during negotiations. Had nothing to do with me, right? They said that Bernard Arnault got freaked out, and then Alexander Arnault calls me and says the deal got dropped at the board.
Oh, never mind. Bernard Arnault is Jewish, by the way, apparently. I did not know this. I thought it was just, when you say French, I just immediately assume Christian and maybe even anti-Semitic. He is. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped it yet.
I went back and told my high maintenance wife.
French people can be Jewish. Okay, I'm making a joke about French people here, okay? No, he is. You said no, he's not. No, he is. Look. Wait, what the fuck? He's not. Wait. Why did the Jewish Independent Forward? Dude, look at this. Yo! What the fuck? They didn't edit the title. Boom! Double. Hey, that's a double whammy. That is a double whammy. Dog, this is like correcting a bad tweet a few days later in the reprise without just deleting the tweet. I know, yeah. What the fuck was Forward doing, dude? They just left this up with the title of French Jewish billionaire families leading the fundraising to rebuild Notre Dame. And then the editor's note is like, an earlier version of the article stated that Bernard Arnault is Jewish. The Arnault family is not Jewish. Like, what are you doing? The article, throw the article away in the trash. You ruined it. Change the title. What do you mean earlier edition of the article? This is the still edition of the article, right? The title. What the fuck?